over here into Champion Select, and right off the bat, Elise being taken away from Nintendo. Thresh dropped from Daydream, and no one's making that mistake ever again. And the super shocking Misfortune ban away from Cop.
Yeah, you're always going to ban that one out. He's just too comfortable on that champion. So this is probably going to put Cop in maybe the Varus mode or the Caitlyn. Actually, they ban out the Caitlyn, so that's not going to be an option either.
He did run Twitch last time they met. Never died on that one, but the Caitlyn dropped. I mean, you mentioned his stats, what, 9-2 and 17, something ludicrous. Like, Mashme had a great Caitlyn game. And Twisted Fate dropped from Nijaki here.
Yeah, so they immediately lock in the Jace. We saw Jace in the last series be very, very effective, and that is one of Zion's favorite champions. He's been able to carry really hard with it so far, so immediately taking that away from him. And we'll have to see what he answers back with, because it's going to be a similar style champion. Him and Voyboy, like I said, both like playing those top laners who can get kills. So it'll be something along the lines of a Diana, maybe, like we saw, even a Riven or something like that.
It's always been lauded as actually one of Voyboy's big strengths as well, was that he can pick up a champion with like 2 or 3 games. You can never count out his champion pool. So I want to see how he does with that. But Karthus has just been making his sort of, not debut, but like reappearance here. His encore is now here in the playoffs, been picked in almost every game.
That's definitely the new bandwagon here that everybody's been jumping on, and it's been successful most of the time. He just has such a large impact. It is the Varus coming in. All right.
All right, so the Varus Sona lane, we've got Jace locked in as well. I mean, the picks are coming through super fast. It's now GGU's turn to pick.
Yeah, so Sona is one of Rux's most played supports, and since he's just going back to that role, it's good for Curse that he's able to pick up one of the supports that he's most comfortable with. Like you said, he has a large champion pool and he can learn them quickly, but if you have the choice, you always want to go with your comfort pick. Okay,
so now it's Good Game University's time to look for theirs. You did mention Diana in there, and that's what they're thinking about right now. Of course, they already know where Zion Spartan, or sorry, what Jinty is going to be playing, which is that Karthus. GGU still toying with their picks here.
So we might see a Darius, and we heard the top laner for Complexity, Nick Wu, talk about how he loves Darius just because of the power in those 1v1 matchups. So this makes me think if they actually lock that in, which they don't look like they're going to do, then Zion would be looking for that 1v1 heads up with Voyboy.
No, instead, with 1 second to go, they're looking at Ezreal and Blitzcrank are going to be grabbed up.
Shiny gold double lane over here, and we'll have to see if they do that in the mid lane again, because last time they used Blitzcrank, it was against Dignitas, and they shoved it in the middle lane to try and pull Scar. They were very effective shutting down that Twisted Fate by pressuring him in the mid lane and basically burning his flash before every single team fight.
And it was very effective for them. You saw them win that game 1, of course, the series overall. And it's Curse's turn to make some choices. They need a jungler and, I would guess, a mid laner. Would love to see that Veigar come out from Nijaki.
Yeah, we would also like to see some more Fish jungle Fizz, but I don't believe he's going to lock that one in. It would leave them with a very squishy team comp here, and they would have to just orchestrate their team fights very, very precisely to pull this one off.
That would be pretty difficult. Instead, they're going to lock in Orianna there in the mid lane for Nijaki and jungle Jarvan IV.
That's a really high impact early game jungler here. Jarvan, he does a lot of damage early, and he can pull off a lot of ganks that other junglers just can't get to.
All right, so we've got one more pick to come through here. Good Game University looking at their almost, actually, I guess not necessarily their top laner. We have seen top lane Nasus before. Daydream been taking his sweet time thinking about champions, and oh my gosh, he's locked in Tryndamere.
All right, GGU definitely have the surprises. That's the wonk factor that they're bringing. Surprise, Tryndamere going to come out. Right now, they're still swapping him around. So Tryndamere, like you said, he could be jungle also if they wanted to do a top lane Nasus or something like that. But it looks like that is going to be Zion's.
Yeah, I got to expect that Zion Spartan Tryndamere. That just seems like a guy for him. So walk me through these all. Now, we've got a lot of unique picks here. Blitzcrank showing back up. Tryndamere, not going to be AP Trynd most likely. Like, walk me through these teams.
I like the Tryndamere pickup too after the Jarvan there, because he can just spin right out of that Cataclysm. He's actually vulnerable to being kited by slows, just not locked down by like those barriers and stuff. So I don't know. I kind of like this this GGU team. They've got a lot of end game power here, especially with that Karthus is kind of guaranteed. All
right, so GGU end game power. Blitzcrank pulls for good measure. Curse though, right? Jace Jarvan the Fourth, Orianna, Varus, Sona. What are these guys about?
Well, you always have amazing poke when you have a solo lane Jace. We saw it used so effectively there. If he can get that early lead and they feed him the blue buffs instead of feeding them to Orianna, then that is just constant pressure on any one of your turrets. So Curse, they actually have a pretty strong poke team here, and when they decide to or when GGU decide to engage on them, they've got great counter-initiate with Crescendo and Chains of Corruption from Varus. That bottom lane just adds so much CC.
All right, so Curse, you've heard it there. The ones with the pressure, the poke, and everything else. We're here into the second semifinal of the day. Game 1, Curse vs. Good Game University. Let's get it started. Curse in the blue side, GGU on red, and they leave their base.
Look at these items here. Both top laners with their red elixirs, both AD carries with their Doran's blades. Everybody pretty predictable here. We still have Nintendo on his utility build that he loves going on most of his junglers.
Okay, so I want to point out random things because I haven't seen Zion Spartan on Tryndamere, or really a not AP Tryndamere in forever. So I want to point out his build real fast. It's 6% lifesteal from Quince, and what I think are attack speed reds. So that's, if I can infer the base attack speed there, that's sort of his opening build. Flat armor yellows, and I actually have no idea what the glyphs are.
Yeah, they're going with that.
Not magic resist.
The very late game here then. AD Tryndamere, he doesn't have the same shoving power that AP one did. But he's got great heads-up potential. He's so hard to finish off.
Okay, so these teams are moving across the map. Good Game University, shockingly with a Blitzcrank, invading toward the jungle, and now recalling in full face of some wards from Curse. Meanwhile, Curse much more defensive in their setup. Voidboy running to the top lane, the rest of them running around in their lizard side jungle. It looks like Curse do not want any funny business here.
No funny business. And they don't have actually too many wards. It's just that one important ward by the Wraith Bush. Everybody puts so much emphasis on getting that one down, at least for the early game here. We also had Jinte dropping one for GGU here to protect him. So it looks like he's going to go with his signature Karthus bottom, expecting a 1 versus 2.
Okay, so you were right. They are going to send that Blitzcrank toward the mid lane. You're seeing Nintendo and Jinte share experience on Wolves. Look at Jinte sit there in range just to get him to level 2 a bit faster as he helps Nintendo come through. Meanwhile, we can see that the Wraiths have been taken away. Zion Spartan has sold the double Golems. So much like we saw Vulcan throughout their quarterfinal match, these guys are taking every single jungle camp basically at level 1. There's Saint grabbing his blue buff, and the rest of the experience being shared out pretty well by Curse.
And we brought this up last time that they had Jinte doing Karthus in the 2 versus 1 bottom, that it's actually a very squishy champion early, and he's vulnerable to those dives. He did a really good job of staying alive, placing that defensive ward, and CSing from afar before, but this time, Curse have Jarvan, and he is that sneaky jungler, so we'll have to see if St. Vicious will be able to make that impact down on the bottom lane.
Okay, so we see Nintendo getting his second buff, but the interesting thing here for Curse actually is that while Saint and Void got the blue buff, Cop was donated Lizard buff here for this mid lane, so Varus is going to be poking really, really well.
They actually want to counter this blitz here, and it's pretty good for Curse actually, since there's no bushes in the lane for Blitz to hide in. Since he is melee, it's going to be a little bit harder for him.
Okay, but St. Vicious is looking for Jinte in the bottom lane. Jinte just barely saw him with a ward though, so he is safe, but that log lane Karth is certainly under pressure right now. Yeah,
he's taking a little bit of pressure, but he's doing okay here. The top lane actually, I think we're seeing a little bit of that, Prolly factor where Voidboy might not have played against a Tryndamere, an AD Tryndamere top in quite a while. And Zion Spartan is getting a little bit better of the CS by shoving his lane early, so there's a pretty big wave built up here, and Voidboy's going to have to CS very close to his turret.
Okay, so let's see where Curse goes in response to all this pressure. Looks like the mid lane is shoving down towards their turret. Curse's top lane shoving down towards their turret. Even the bottom lane is shoving down towards their turret. So Saint has a bunch of lanes near his side of the map. We'll see if he goes for any of that. We're watching Jackie and Jinte, though, into battle. So these lanes, right, we talked about kind of the various matchups. Can the jungler pick any of these up easily?
It doesn't look like Saint's going to make any successful moves down here, since it is just an Orianna bottom. That's not the same potential for a kill like if they kept their AD and support down there. And the second pass by that ward means he's just going to go over here to Golems. Jinte using his wall to get vision of side bushes as well. Jinte is a very cautious player, so he's always on the lookout for that Saint gank.
Okay, so the Saint gank might not come through then in land.
Ooh, well.
So, yeah, he is looking for it, though, running down the bottom lane. Jackie in a bit of a duel with Jinte. Jinte puts the wall down. He might need that in case Saint shows up. The lane pushes on back down, and the minions are still just around. Nintendo just slipping by the race right here. So, ooh, they pinged, actually. They actually got a ping down on where Jarvan was recalling, so Saint goes back to the base. Looks like he will not find that gank after all.
Yeah, and Nintendo is pulling away. All this time that Saint is spending trying to find a way over to gank this squishy early game Karthus is costing him. He's a level behind Nasus right now, and that's actually a full level here.
All right, so we can see that, Gold is spreading out, between the roles a little bit, but the lanes are kind of differentiating themselves quite a bit. The top lane, you've got a 10 CS lead for Voyboy, where that jungler, of course, as you mentioned, the 10 minion kill lead for Nintendo. He's the one in advantage.
And Nintendo now, the one to make a move bottom. But since Jackie placed his ward after Jinte placed his, it times out just at the right moment, and Jackie saw Nintendo walk over to this lane. He's actually going to walk right around that wall.
He walks around the wall. There's the Wither on as well. Actually forced to flash out of that one. And Nintendo did not burn any summoners, nor did Jinte. So one summoner burn. We'll see if he can make his approach back in. Actually, he's just going to shove the lane out.
Even though, yeah, he walked by that ward just dying, Jackie stayed a little bit too long, dodged around the wall, and they get a free summoner for that one. So win for GGU. They're going to back off and purchase. I would expect a tier coming out from Jinte right now.
And he does. The tier comes in. Good call. And a whole heap of potions and a ward to boot. Does not want to get hit by Saint here. So we've seen these lanes match up, right? 2v2, 1v1, 1v1. Even the default matchups are here right now where they're fighting their would-be opponents. Who's going to break ahead of this laning phase?
It seems like both of these teams really expected the play from each other, and they've been able to counter it really well. I have to say the edge right now is going to GGU just because Saint is falling behind in experience when Nintendo is just farming away while Saint is trying to pull off ganks. So they're getting a slight lead in the jungle, whereas Voyboy is sort of making up for that in the top lane.
Okay, so Voyboy definitely having a good game. We've, of course, seen Jace's carry throughout this matchup. The hard carry, of course, here is Zion Spartan. Nintendo kind of just clears through his jungle. So then what about Dragon? What about that for Presh? We've got, dual lanes mid. These guys can invade into the jungle for buffs as well. Are you going to see any moves on that front, maybe?
Well, we always say that Nasus is instant Dragon control because once he does get that level 6, he can solo it very easily. And since Jinte has been so good about keeping up his wards, GGU can bank on the fact that there's no ward coverage here from Curse around the Dragon. So it's going to be all about Saint realizing that there's the threat of the level 6 Nasus and having to protect that Dragon area.
Okay, so the Dragon area definitely going to be a point of contention. No gank quite coming through here for Nintendo. Looked for it, but was revealed by a ward. Voy and Zion still fighting to the top lane. Actually, ooh, he spins in, gets knocked right back out. Voy wants no part of that one. There's a quick update on what Tryndamere is doing. He's maxing Q first, by the way. Not a big surprise, I suppose, but just letting you know about that one. Nintendo is going to give away blue buff to Jinte here.
It's also interesting to me that Kopp is losing out on CS in this mid lane versus Don't Mash Me because, I mean, they do have Blitzcranks that always makes you a little bit more scared as Varus since you don't have an escape. But since it is this shorter lane and there's no bushes for Daydream to hide behind, you really need to be able to use that creep wave to effectively block hooks.
And it seems like that's not happening just enough there for Curse. A little bit of poke back and forth here for these guys. Actually, Kopp has gone back to buy, but Mashme is actually saving up his gold, sitting at 2,000 right now.
Yeah, so when he goes back for that BF sword, the large buy, he'll come with a huge power spike. And if they time that with Dragon, Nasus level 6 already, that could be the move that they're waiting for.
We'll see if that ends up being what, sort of propels them ahead of this game. 10.4 thousand gold really on both sides right here. And no one has made a big enough move to leave a permanent mark on the map. Voyboy just last hitting under his turret. Nothing too majors gained right there. Zion's still trying to shove him up. His matchup, though, still a little bit in Voy's favor.
And we have Nintendo creeping in here in the bushes, waiting to set up a gank, hoping that Voyboy will dunk on one of those minions again and get into that melee range. It doesn't look like he's going to bite on it too soon, though, so they're just going to try and get turret damage.
Puts the Mocking Shout down. Here comes Nintendo in from the back as well, and you're right, turret damage comes in, so bricks are falling off that poor structure. Voy comes in, gets withered, and Zion puts a little bit of pressure, then walks back. Voy misses a few minions for that, for Nintendo's trouble, but otherwise nothing much gained yet.
Tough for them. The mid lane finally, they sent Blitzcrank back to buy first, actually. And so here comes the pressure from Cop. They're able to get a little bit on it, but Don't Match Me doesn't hesitate to fire off his True Shot Barrage to clear the wave. And now he's going back. We'll see if he comes in. He's got plenty of money for that BF sword. Looks like he'll actually wait on it even more.
Wow, 2,500 gold on him, and he's just so afraid of that mid lane pushing it.
McDuck over here.
Just trying to bathe in the money, absolutely. But they are still fighting heads up in this mid lane matchup. So we've seen a lot of Ezreal builds in this game, in this weekend, I should say, so far. You know, the big poke Ezreal with Muramana or the Lizard Elder. What Ezreal do you think we're going to see here?
Since he's saving up so much money, I would expect even one of those Infinity Edge builds that we've seen over in EU, since he should definitely at least pick up that BF sword to start. We're getting some groupings around in the middle here, so since Don't Match Me hasn't bought, the Curse is actually going to have the edge right here in this 3-on-3.
Well, they do still have Jarvan waiting off in the wings, not revealed by a ward. Missing ping actually came by. Oh, they go in unintended, but it's going to be a 3-on-3. There's a flash knock up to Rux. Look at the burst damage there, but Crescendo lands on 2. Here comes the Requiem. Will it be enough to pick up kills? Daydreamer running it back. Oh, the flash on Crescendo from Mash Me. They get first blood. However, they trade back as Daydreamer falls over afterwards.
Both globals going off there too, so there goes the ultimate from Jinte and the teleport from Jackie. That's going to mean that meanwhile, this middle turret's taking a lot of damage, but Jinte's shoving that bottom lane, so he's going to get a lot done down there as well.
Giant, actually double minion wave basically lost there for Jackie. The gold now up 400 for GGU, some of that of course being minions. Zion Spartan getting a free push top lane as well. Looks like he has burned his red elixir for part of that, and he's finally making headway in this top lane.
So we talked about Ezreal not going back to buy, but we didn't say Zion didn't go back to buy yet. I mean, he went back to buy once and got a blade, but now he's got that turret and the extra money from the bottom as well. So he's got 2,000. So he's going to be able to get some substantial purchases of his own.
There we go. So items coming in through fast and furious. 10 minions, bunch of gold. Of course, you can spot those all up on your screen. So as the item builds differentiate themselves, what do you see as special?
The huge thing right now is since they both just bought, they're clearing out wards around Dragon. That means GGU definitely going to focus that area now. With the top turret already being down, I'd be surprised if they actually send Zion all the way back up there. I guess it's just because Voidboy's shoving his lane so hard that Zion will grab his red and then go up to defend his turret. Meanwhile, we've got Karthus on the bottom, so there's so much power here for a Dragon. GGU. Again, like clockwork, they're just going to grab this one up. It looks like Curse can't contest.
Almost found Rux right there, but Rux managed to bait out the hook and not get any punish for it. The Dragon, of course, does go down. GGU find themselves an 1,800 gold lead here in the 12th minute of Game 1 in the semifinals.
So there's no Ghost for Zion right now. The red buff probably won't result in a kill for him, because Voidboy still has his flash and his ignite up. But the ultimate there, the Undying Rage, is definitely there.
Definitely is right there. He is level 10. Voidboy at the same mark, but now there's no turret to stop Zion's aggression, and he will keep on pushing down. Jackie's still in the bottom lane. There's not been almost any lane swaps here. I mean, aside from the initial one, obviously, where they moved around, everyone's been pretty patient to sit around where they have been and stick in the laning phase.
Yeah, and it's been so close. The only difference here is really that Dragon pick up and the extra turret for GGU. So they're just, this time it's GGU just slowly getting those objectives. They've got 2 global objectives up on Curse, and Curse are kind of just waiting around for it.
Oh, very, very good then by GGU to put themselves in the front here. Jinte giving himself another golem buff. Weird probably talked about this actually in his interview, saying, man, I don't want a bottom lane on blue side because then they take my blues, I never get any. It makes me really, really sad. And actually we see that, right? We get, Jinte gets his own blue buff, but it's actually Jackie not with it. It's Voidboy taking the golem on his side.
Yeah, Zion Spartan has the red too, so he is set up for extra aggression. Red buff Tryndamere versus blue buff Jace. We'll have to see Jinte taking a lot here.
He gets Shockwave back. There comes the dunk as well, but he flashed away from it. Jinte is still alive, and here comes Intendude. Wither is on. Wall of Pain comes by as well. Will they have enough damage? Saint Vicious taking a bunch of poke. Requiem is available, but the knockup comes out from Saint, and they will not get anything back for it. However, Jackie did burn Flash and ult, and of course so did Jinte burn his summoners.
Yeah, and we also got the ult out of Nasus, so pretty much a draw down there. The only thing would be if GGU can turn this into a turret kill. It looks like there's not going to be any hope for that here. The wave clear from Saint, pretty good.
They are picking out this mid lane though, as Zion Spartan roams out from the top side. don't know if they're going to really find pressure on the mid lane. They're certainly finding pressure on the bottom lane. Both of Curse's members down there have left. Jinte and Nintended are getting that damage, as you mentioned, and this could be the second turret kill here for GGU University. In fact, no one will stop him. 2 turrets to 0 now early on. 14 minutes 20. GG with a good lead.
The draw down there in the bottom, no kills, but they did enough damage that Curse had to recall. Free turret for them. They're slowly answering, and now everybody's sort of heading mid here. We have Voyboy converging. Saint gonna pick up his red, and maybe we'll see a larger fight.
Well, let's see if that is, of course, the case here. Saint just grabbing his own red buff. So, unlike Scumbag Zion Spartan, Curse are actually allowing their jungler to get their own jungle buffs. So, Saint will be happy about that one. You can see it manifest a little bit here. Saint actually coming back ahead in minion kills now, 66 to 62.
I actually like what GGU did there. They didn't let anything go to waste. They were like, okay, we're going to have Nintendo go bottom for that gank. That means the top side jungle is all yours, Zion. Feel free to clear that out. You can get a little extra gold, get your red buff, and the double golems. Plus, we'll get that bottom turret out of the pressure we're using there. So they're sort of sharing everything. GGU doing a very good job splitting up all the money.
That's so nice. They're all learning from Loud and Mortis, who, you know, Complexity was holding hands before, just helping each other out, and GGU keeping the love going. I always like to see that from these teams, but I want to kind of just bring back to these matches because we see such non-typical ones as far as champion picks go, but also as far as lanes go. Zion is holding up straight up 1v1 against Voyboy, right? Our featured matchup there, unorthodox pick. You know, blind pick Jace, and they're basically equal here.
Yeah, except that we had all that turret pressure from Zion, so he was able to grab that one down. That's actually a huge bonus to the rest of his team. And the other solo lane matchup here, the Jackie versus Jinte, is pretty similar also. Jackie's had to take that teleport to sort of answer for the global presence here as Daydreamin comes in for a pull on Cop. Too many mind games right there. Yeah. Dodges away from the turret and able to kid out.
Fadeaway hook does not land there. Copt is going to get his farm underneath that one. And of course, let's go ahead and round out the matchups. The AD carries 151 to 162, also neck and neck. So GG with a slight advantage just from globals, though. Is Curse going to keep letting them take dragons, or will they finally contest something?
The next one is probably going to be contested. Here we have both. Jinte actually flashes, or
Saint and Daydreamin.
Daydreamin actually flashes out of that one too. So another draw happening. Flash for Fash, but we have 2 side lanes shoving for GGU right now. They're split pushing on both of them, and they're sending Jackie down here to try and respond to this Nasus.
Okay, so there's the pressure down there at the bottom. Of course, top lane, we actually have Zion Spartan recalling back 1 minute and 10 seconds towards Dragon. These guys have a little bit more time to run around if they wish, but then it's going to be a big deal, and we'll see where these top laners go. Zion just shoving, looking like he's running towards what could be a Bloodthirster. BF Sword and Damp Scepter on his inventory, holding up. Oh, the Verisol comes by, does not hit anyone though. GGU, the Crescendo lands. Will they move in? They get the pull into Rux. He does not have Crescendo. Will they get the knock up? The Exhaust comes by. Here comes, oh my gosh, the dunk. They've got everyone grouped together. They get the kill into Rux, but Jinte is getting just crushed right now. They trade 2 for 1 as Daydreamin also falls down. Great fight by Curse. Requiem comes by. Will they find anything for it though? Not a single kill. Nintendo is just pushing in the bottom lane.
Even though that was a horrible initiate from Curse, they missed the Verisol completely and then sort of wasted the Crescendo. Since Jackie was down there with Nintendo, there was an extra person. The teleport used by Jackie, he comes up and they actually get an extra kill out of it. Now he has to run down bottom and try and defend this turret.
And the turret is going to survive, still at 2/3 health. Voyboy and Zion in a fight. Great knockback by Void, puts Zion back in a turret range. Shot Glass comes by as well. This is not good for the Tryndamere. He's ghosting away. Flash comes out from Void. Ult pop by Zion, puts the Ignite on as well. It was be enough to kill up Void. Goes in. Oh my gosh, Zion Spartan just mans it up, picks the kill up 1v1, and there's no globals left to kill him.
Not even close, baby. Zion actually the #1 here in our top lane matchup. It looks like he gets his solo kill versus Voyboy. All the glory is going to be his.
Tryndamere deserving the title of king right there. And yeah, he's going to go recall at 12 health. It seems like par for the course of this one. GGU, though, trying to recoup losses from the prior fight, going in for the Golem buff here, but Curse have already started on the Dragon. It's losing health pretty rapidly, down to half. Nintendo is very, very nearby. They're going to go in for this fight. Rux getting caught out again, just explodes right there, but there comes Shockwave. Where's the damage going to go? Saint Vicious looks for Jinte. Jinte knocked into the air, but the numbers advantage is here for GGU. Jinte flashes out. Jinte gets the kill on Saint Vicious and gets out of the fight. And now it's Cop under pressure. Nintendo just chasing down. Jackie puts down Dissonance that will slow down the chase, and GGU will back out, but still 2 for 0 in their favor.
Curse a little bit desperate right there. They wanted to answer back. Voyboy had gone down, and they wanted to fight that for him.
Zion, though, he's trying to fight a 1 versus 2 right here. Getting pushed around, has to spin over the wall. He is safe.
Shoot him! Oh. Okay, so he missed that shot glass a little bit, but he knew the Undying Rage was going to be down from their last fight, so he tried to get the kill. No reward for them, and GGU picks up the Dragon on the back of this one. They are just charging ahead, increasing this gold lead here.
Very, very beautiful play by them. So now 5,000, almost 5,000 gold puts GGU up in this second semifinal match. Again, there's a $50,000 first prize on the line for this tournament, and GGU are looking very good to put themselves in the match right now. Again, 5,000 gold lead, looking pretty happy. Jintei just farming up. So my question to you is, what do they do now? They've been looking good so far. Where do they go next?
Well, Curse seem a little bit sluggish, so GGU need to keep up the pressure. If they're the ones making the first move, they have to force Curse to react to them. If you keep Curse moving around the map and keep them in this sort of sleeper mode where they're not really performing that well in the team fights, then GGU really are going to come out ahead. They need to keep on calling the shots here. The next point of contention, you want to try and keep that blue buff away from Voyboy, I had said, but he just picked it up.
Okay, so Voy with blue buff and that Muramana already 20 minutes into the game. I remember Riv timed that one in our prior best of 3, and he seems pretty powerful. Well, I should say more birdie for the course there. Really early Muramana coming through. And that's looking good for Curse overall. But, I mean, I gotta say, there's a lot of great items coming through here. But first, it's the turret under pressure. Verisol comes by. Daydreamin has to run. Crescendo does land. Will they move in on this one? Looks like DDR does not keep him in place for too long. Daydreamin is going to be safe. Now, will they counter-engage?
This would be perfect for GGU if they're able to catch anyone, but there's no Zion over here, so they're missing their King Tryndamere. And they don't want to do it.
Now, so Demon Blade Tryndamere is pushing around on the left-hand side, really being a thorn in their side as he just keeps that turret under pressure. Voyboy sent back towards his base, maybe to defend. He is going to make his way over, but look at that split push there. Turret's going to go down. 4v4 battle in the mid lane. Voy's got a caught between a rock and a hard place. He hasn't gone anywhere. There's the initiation. They go in. Daydreamin forced to flash away, but Nintendo forced to run off to the side. This is going to be a very, very close battle because here comes Voy. 5v4. The numbers advantage is here for Curse. Will GG respond and get away?
They did a good job of kiting right there, and Jintei is just so powerful right now. He's keeping everyone off the rest of the team, allowing Zion to continue to split push. Zion claims another turret over there in the top lane, and the next one's going to be an inhibitor turret.
Zion just tried to steal wolves against 3 people on Curse. Like he actually legitimately thought he could take that and was like, okay, never mind. So a lot of aggression by him. Again, I want to kind of take stock of this game because a lot of new things are happening here. We've got basically sort of this weird half build from Zion Spartan. He's got like a BF sword and a Zeal, and he's got like half completed items here. What's kind of the logic behind these sort of like incomplete builds?
Well, Zion just wants to split push as effectively as possible. You can see he's still in that top lane. He doesn't want to join the rest of the team. Tryndamere's so hard to catch, but Jackie taking all of his life in damage right there. That would be 100%.
Yes. Maybe 110%. That certainly seemed like some extra effort coming out from Mashmi, sniping that away with his ultimate. But so there we go. Bloodthirster Manamune coming out from Mashmi. He's been buying actually Muramana a lot so far.
Pretty good item on Ezreal. He likes the semi-caster aspect, and then building the frozen gauntlet on top of that one after for the extra kite factor.
Oh my gosh, the burst coming out from Kopp. You just see his health just eviscerate. But Kopp is not in a good place. Has to burn his ult to get away from Zion. And Zion says, all right, fine, I'll trade an ult cooldown for like 50 health. But Jintei's forced to run away. A lot of damage comes out from Saint. Jintei's shield does come through. Seraph's Embrace helping him quite a bit. More poke coming from Voy. Saint still looking a little frisky, but they will back off.
So Curse are really going to have to regroup right now. They've been just bleeding money all over the map. When they force the next 5-on-5 team fight, the focus is going to be on kiting Zion Spartan because, yes, Zion Spartan is huge right now. He has a bunch of the money, but Tryndamere's main weakness is kiting. He is that melee, and he doesn't have flash. He's just got his ghost. So if you're able to effectively use your hail of arrows and your dissonance from Jackie, Rux even going to lend a hand in that one too, then they can still mitigate that damage just by kiting him around.
All right, so that does seem to be the important thing here. GGU University still putting themselves in a pretty good situation. Dragon up in 130. Barons on the map at this point. Are GGU strong enough to push for something that big?
They don't have to risk anything. They don't want to go for a Baron. Like Dyrus said, it's sometimes a noob magnet here. You go over there when you think you're ahead, and that could be a game changer. You don't have to risk a Baron steal or getting aced inside of that pit. Grouping up could be terrible for them because a crescendo, shockwave, chain of corruption. There's a lot of tools here for Curse that would make GGU pay for going for an early Baron.
Okay, so money could be an issue. That a little bit of damage coming out on Nintendo, 2/3 right there. Not looking great. The ball still coming out from Nijaki, trying to push people around. Mashmi looks for poke off on the sides, but doesn't quite find that yet. Saracen Brace Shield still on cooldown, but Jintei's going to make his way over to the team as well. Nice shock blast puts poke down, but Mashmi with the Bloodthirst is going to lifesteal that right back up.
And Mashmi is going for the Frozen Gauntlet after this Manamune. He's got the 2 pieces ready now, so he's going to use the same old build. He was pretty happy with that one.
The kite game, but it's Zion Spartan really playing the split push game. 221 minions on him, and he's here in the bottom lane, so far from Baron Nashor. Actually, the Ezreal comes across to scout it out. It says, no one is here
Cop
yet.
has to be careful, actually.
Yeah, it's true. He is kind of alone right there. Does have his ult, and Zion says, great, I got the turret. All I wanted. 4-1 now in turrets. GG look good on that one.
Yeah, and they also are looking for the next dragon here, just about to spawn. Good job timing that one. They have the Nasus ultimate, but they don't have to burn it. Everyone's there, and Curse a little bit too far to contest this. They got plenty of damage from Karthus, and now they could even take this fight.
They're going to start the fight 5v4. They don't have Zion Spartan. Nintendo takes a bunch of punishment, has to run back. Crescendo comes across. So much damage coming across from Nijaki, and there's 1 kill picked up. Cop is on a rampage. Nintendo in the back line. Requiem comes across. They trade 1 for 1 so far. Now Voice in the mix. He's going to fall over as well. 2 for 1 in this fight, and here comes Zion Spartan. Dissonance buys some time. Piercing arrow comes across, and Daydreamin forced to run away. Now it's Nijaki running. Will Zion hunt this down? Has Ghost, does not choose to use it. Just the 2 for 1 with Dragon to GGU's credit.
Even without Zion being a big factor here, Curse lost that team fight, and they're still under pressure here. Don't Mash wants to go for it. So does
Ghost in. He's going to look for this one. Gets a bit of damage across, getting lower and lower. Cop taking a bunch of punishment. There comes the ultimate. 1 more hit to go. Cop flashes, and now Zion is forced to run. Can Cop get the snipe? The Q comes across. Can Jackie get the shot? Oh, he can't quite, but the dissonance might speed him up. He's still chasing this one down. Zion will spin away. He lives, and they find another turret in the mid lane.
The one weakness of Zion right there. He did get kited fairly effectively, but Cop had to burn his flash. So that's a huge cooldown. Next time, Cop won't have that freebie escape.
All right, the freebie escape is going to be what might just keep him alive, though. Zion is looking threatening so far in this battle. Infinity Edge completed. Zeal on top of that. I mean, I feel like he's a bigger threat than Ezreal at this point.
Exactly. So the kiting from just being a good idea has now turned to a mandatory strategy in the next team fight. You can't be taking hits from this Zion Tryndamere. He's so strong right now.
So I have a question for you then. If Curse is trying to play the kite game, with Wall of Pain and Blitzcrank grabs and the Iceborne Gauntlet coming out, will that even work against GGU at this point?
That's what GGU is definitely betting against right now. They're building to complement this champion pick. So they've thought this through. This is obviously a strategy that they've practiced, and they're trying to shore up the few weaknesses that it does have.
Okay, so see if the items do bridge that gap successfully. Masons of GGU trying to make sure this game will go successfully. Daydreamin does grab the oracles and start sweeping out wards. So Curse is starting to get blinded here against this GGU lineup as Zion just crushes some more minions. And he's now got actually a Bilgewater Cutlass to add to his build.
And with full Fury, he's got 70% crit chance and an Infinity Edge. That is monster.
Absolutely massive. So that's going to be his goal right there, pushing on the bottom lane. No one able to touch him. Just 1-0-1, but he's had a good impact on this game so far. We're looking now at Mashmi, though, in the mid lane. The Iceborne Gauntlet has been completed. The Manamune up to 650 of 750. That's about to complete. And GGU have complete control of the map. They're actually pushing towards Baron right now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do that Baron really easily. Karthus single target damage plus Nasus ultimate. No problem here. Saint's going to sort of face check here, but he's probably going to be too late. Unless he just man modes, runs right for this. This would be a miracle Baron steal for him.
It could be a smite fight between Nintendo and everyone else, but it's going to be close. Here comes Saint Vicious. No, red team does pick up Baron Nashor, but Saint goes in. He wants to put damage down. Jumps right back out of the Cataclysm. Suddenly he's afraid, but here comes Rux and Void. Nintendo trying to run away. Mashmi is going to put down the Q, but Nintendo will fall over in that fight. Zion however, solos Nijaki in his own base, and he's now going for the turret. Mastery trying to kite St. Vicious. Of course, Iceborne Gauntlet is available, waiting on the cooldowns. Oh, he dodges the crescendo with a great arcane shift over the wall, and Zion has destroyed a turret. He's now onto the inhibitor inside of Curse's base.
You can't steal away from Nintendo right there. They were able to get that Baron. Plus, Zion, the 1vs1 matchup right there. Jackie was not expecting the Bilgewater Cutlass that Zion has, so he popped that slow, and then Jackie had nowhere to go. He wasn't able to get away. Zion comes out with a kill and the bottom turret plus inhibitor.
Well, beautiful play there by Tryndamere, 2-0 in 1. And now the mid lane is under pressure. Mashme and Daedemon really bringing that down fast. And just look at the map control for GGU University. All 6 outer turrets plus an inhibitor turret gone. They've got Baron buff on 4 of 5 members. Are they looking for the killing blow right now?
Seems like Curse, they're just a little lethargic all game long. Like I said, GGU making the calls, making the moves, forcing Curse to react to them. We saw Saint running in there. Even after Baron was gone, he jumped for the Cataclysm, decided against it. Too late though. And they achieve all of their goals pretty much. They've got a huge gold lead. Now they've got Baron, and they don't even have to split push anymore, but they'll probably just have Zion up top, rest of the team in the middle, wait for that pull from Daydreamin'.
All right, and of course we see that did actually work quite well. Now, again, GGU in control, looking for the next push. I want to keep giving updates on this Tryndamere though, just because it's such a unique pick. For what it's worth, he maxed spinning / second in his build. Of course, his Bilgewater Cutlass done as well. So for those of you guys taking notes, watch the VOD or listen to the call-outs. That's how Zion Spartan is playing this matchup right here, and he's been so very successful. But GGU, as a team, have been super successful, and they're looking to push in for what might be a killing blow. Zion splitting to the top, the rest of the team in mid.
So the reason GGU keep having Zion split pushing is because Voyboy actually really effective in the tower defense game because he can continue to spam out that shock blast with the acceleration gate. But if you make Voyboy go heads up 1vs1 with Zion up in the top lane there, then that's not a factor for this 4-on-4, and you can just wait on a Blitzcrank grab. If you get that squishy Sona, then it's going to be pretty much an instant kill.
Okay, so speaking of that squishy Sona, she does have her ultimate available, but not Flash. Actually, every ult is available on almost every side except for Jinte. He's got a few seconds left. Wait, am I just wrong? Never mind. I think whatever.
No, yeah, he has 10 more seconds, and then Jinte will have his too. It looks like the Arcane Barrage going to clear a wave, and they've got this turret down to half.
Okay, so a lot of pressure there. Half health on the turret. We were watching the split push as well from Tryndamere, just backing away from minions, but it's going to be a perennial thorn in the side of Curse right here as he keeps making his moves forward. And as you mentioned, it's Voyboy who's being sent. He's the dedicated split push defender here. That turret is just losing health over time. Just time and time again here. Curse looking again to defend this one up.
They have to coordinate their team fight and lock up everyone in the CC at the same time. GGU making the move.
They're just diving right in, but Jinte gets completely cut out. He will fall right away, but here comes the damage onto Saint. Shotgun comes by as well. A lot of pain coming through, but here comes Zion Spartan. Will it be enough? One's going to fall down. Cop, he's going to be next. 2 for 1 so far. 2 for 2, I should say. And there's the shockwave coming by. Here comes Boy falling over. Zion looking for a fourth. He's going to back away from that. But 3 for 2, and they've got control over the base. Middle turret goes down. Now it's the inhibitor's turn to fall over. This would be their second inhibitor dying inside of Curse's base, and they've only got 2 members to defend it. Nijaki and Rux against the world, and they might not be able to do it. There's a flash pull in on Jackie, down to half health. Oh my god, he just blows up right there, and now it's Rux's turn to die as well. On the fountain, double kill Zion Spartan, and that's going to be the next one falling down right afterwards. Good Game University with a top lane Tryndamere 1-0 against Curse.
And that is why Blitzcrank is Daydreamin's favorite support. That plus Thresh, the hooks are just game-changing. He's able to pick him off right there. Zion, I have to say, even though he wasn't AP Tryndamere, you can see how much